First thing we need to do is prepare the high poly model for the export. I need to attach and name the portions of the high poly rocket the same as the low poly portions that overlap those areas. After naming each new element of the high poly, I need to make sure that I adjust the pivot point to match that of the low poly partner. So to show that, I'm going to open up my low poly, select this piece here, which is called rocket front low. I'm going to hide that, select the pieces underneath, and make sure that they're all connected and named rocket front high. They also need to have the same exact pivot point. So if I unhide that low poly piece, we can see that they both have the exact same pivot point. I'll make a copy so you can see what I mean. Here's a copy of the high, and here's a copy of the low. Now, if I align them on top of each other, they're in the exact same spot, just as they are here. I need to go ahead and do that throughout the entire high poly model. So I'm going to hide the low poly. And as you can see, the glass has glass high. The fins at the back have the correct name of rocket end high. Every single piece has been adjusted this way, ensuring that they have the same pivot as their low poly partner. Now what I need to do is apply a multi-sub material just like I did before. So I'm going to open up Material Editor. And as you can see, I've already created one here. I'm going to select all of my high poly objects and apply the material. Now, because of the different colors, you can tell that every polygon has a correct ID. You need to do the same for yourself. It's not important what color you choose because each different color will represent a different material or can be used to create quick masks within Substance Painter. Now I'm ready to export my high poly mesh to the export folder within my set project. So I'm going to close Material Editor, scroll out, close the Explorer here, select all, and go about the same way I've done before. So we'll go to File, Export Selected, and within your export folder, you want to name it rocket_high. As you can see, I've already created one, so what I'll do is name it _demo so you can see the options that I've chosen. I'll hit Save. I'm going to replace. And now for your high poly, you want to make sure that you have Turbo Smooth turned on, Triangulate turned off, and Preserve Edge Orientation turned on, as well as Smoothing Groups turned on. I'm going to go down here to FBX and make sure that we're at 2014, 2015, and hit OK. This could take a little bit, but once done, you're done exporting your high poly model. Now what we need to do is export our low poly model. So I'll go back up to Explorer here, hide our high polys, and now I want to open our low poly baker. So this is our low poly mesh. I'm going to select all. This is the same mesh that you made sure to unwrap each individual piece, merge them together, and then bring them back over into the correct spot so that they all fit within the 0 to 1 space. Also, hopefully you've kept in mind the basics of normal mapping. Wherever there's a hard edge, that you have a cut in your seams of your UV islands. Keeping those fundamentals in mind, you'll now have proper smoothing groups upon your low poly model, meaning that soft edges should look soft and hard edges should look hard. So now I'm going to go to File, Export Selected, and name it Rocket Low Baker. As you can see, I already have that, so I'm going to name mine Rocket Low Baker Demo, just so you can see the options I've chosen. I'm going to hit Yes. And as you can see, these are the same options that were for the high poly. What we need to do is change those. We want to leave smoothing groups on. We want to turn off Turbo Smooth. We want to turn on Triangulate and leave Preserve Edge Orientation on. 2014, 2015, OK. Now we have our high poly pieces and our low poly pieces for the exploded baking process within Substance Painter.